talk to yourself like this, just for 5 days, and you will begin to see what the world has hidden from you for a lifetime. The secret is not in others. It is in your own voice. It is not in the noise of the world, but in the quiet command you speak to your own spirit. The words you whisper to your heart when no one is looking will determine the future you live when everyone is watching. Say to yourself, I am not a victim of circumstances, I am the master of them. Let this phrase echo in your mind with every breath, with every step, with every thought. The world will try to tell you otherwise. It will try to convince you that your power is small, your influence limited, your role in life predetermined by your past. But the truth is simple. The moment you decide to speak to yourself with authority, belief, and purpose, the game changes. The tide turns, the mountain moves. Repeat after me. I was not born to live in fear. I was not created to doubt myself. I am built to rise. Say it loud, say it with conviction. Say it until the voice of doubt is drowned out by the roar of your own certainty. Every great achievement begins with a declaration. And the most important declaration you will ever make is the one you make to yourself. You must become the sculptor of your own mind. And your chisel? It is the language you use when you look into the mirror of your own soul. You do not wait for confidence to arrive. You summon it. You do not wait for strength to show up. You call it out from within. You do not beg for clarity. You command it. On the first day, speak to yourself as if your future depends on it, because it does. Say, today I plant the seed of greatness. Today I declare the end of excuses. Today I start talking to myself like someone who believes in who I am becoming. And the more you say it, the more your subconscious mind begins to believe it. The more your environment begins to shift, not because the words are magic, but because they activate the power that was already inside you, lying dormant, waiting for a command. Speak this. I can do hard things. I can rise from failure. I can build something out of nothing. Say it when you're tired. Say it when you're afraid. Say it when everything in you wants to quit. Because every time you say it, you rewire the blueprint of your own life. Every time you say it, you send a signal to the universe that you are serious, that you are ready, that you are not here to live on the sideline. Let others murmur doubts. You speak truth. Let others criticize. You praise your progress. Let others sink into complacency. You rise with intention. And let the voice you hear in your head be the voice that pushes you, empowers you, and transforms you. On the second day, you will begin to feel something shift, not in the world, but in you. You will notice that you are walking taller, that you are making decisions with more confidence, that your body is aligning with your words, and you will realize something profound, that the person you've been waiting to become was waiting on you to believe you already were. So talk to yourself like this. I do not need permission to be great. I do not need validation to be worthy. I do not need anyone else to tell me what I can or cannot do. I was born for this moment. I was made for this climb. I was created to live fully, freely, and fearlessly. And if the voice in your head pushes back, speak louder. Declare, I will not be silenced by doubt. I will not bow to fear. I will not be held captive by my past. Because your future is not determined by your history, it is shaped by your inner conversation. And the words you choose today will become the reality you live tomorrow. By the third day, the chains of your former self begin to fall. The hesitation that once controlled you loses its grip, and you realize, truly realize, that the biggest transformation of your life didn't start with a breakthrough from the outside. It started with a new standard on the inside. It started when you stopped begging for someone to believe in you and started speaking like you believed in yourself. Say this every morning. I am not intimidated by challenges. I am invigorated by them. I am not a product of failure. I am a producer of future victories. I am not running from problems. I am rising to meet them with courage. Say it every afternoon. I am getting better. I am learning faster. I am seeing more clearly. I am aligning with abundance, purpose, and progress. Say it every night. I did not waste this day. I invested it. I did not repeat yesterday. I elevated beyond it. I did not shrink. I expanded. And if you speak like this for 3 days, you will begin to recognize a version of yourself that feels unfamiliar, but only because you've kept that version locked away under layers of hesitation. She is you, he is you. That powerful version of yourself is not a fantasy, it is your truest self, and you call it forward every time you speak life into your mind. So speak life, speak progress, speak greatness, speak victory. Speak as if your future self is listening, because they are. They are depending on you. They are waiting for you to show up today so they can live freely tomorrow. They are watching to see if you will keep the promise to yourself. And when you do, when you talk to yourself like this, for just 3 days, something irreversible happens. The old you becomes a shadow. The new you becomes a reality. And the life you used to only dream of becomes the life you now step into daily. You must understand, the words you speak to yourself are not mere sounds. They are orders, they are instructions, they are commands sent into the subconscious mind, the soil in which every future harvest is born. The tone of your life is set by the tone of your inner dialogue. Most people go through life repeating phrases they didn't choose, words someone else planted in them. You're not enough. You always mess things up. It's too late for you. These are the weeds growing in the garden of the mind, and they choke the dreams that once had roots. But you are not most people. You are no longer willing to be ruled by unconscious programming. You are taking control. And this control begins with a simple but revolutionary act, speaking to yourself on purpose. For 3 days, you are doing what most will never do. You are retraining the inner voice. On day 1, you begin to notice the negative thoughts. You hear them whisper, "You can't do this." But instead of agreeing, you say out loud, "Watch me." The thought says, "You'll fail." You respond, "I'm already growing." The thought says, "No one believes in you." You say, "I believe in me." And that's enough. Each time you interrupt a lie with a truth, you weaken the grip of the past. You replace mental chains with mental fuel. You're not denying reality, you're redesigning it. You are stepping into the most powerful truth, that you are not a slave to emotion or circumstance. You are the architect of your life, and your words are your blueprint. The second day is where resistance shows up. Old patterns try to pull you back into the familiar pit of doubt. Your mind wants to take the easy road, to fall back into silence. But silence is no longer your option. You say to yourself, "I am committed to my vision. I speak life, not limitation. I speak strength, not shame. I speak progress, not perfection." You begin to recognize the power in your tone. You realize that you don't need to shout to be strong. You don't need to scream to command. Sometimes the most powerful declaration is a whisper that carries conviction. You can look in the mirror and calmly say, "I am becoming more powerful by the hour. I am mastering my thoughts. I am leading myself with purpose." That calm certainty moves mountains. You also begin to notice how the world starts responding differently. People treat you with more respect. Opportunities come into focus. Doors begin to open not because something outside has changed, but because your inner world has shifted. You're no longer approaching life as a question mark. You are walking in as an exclamation point. And this is no accident. This is law. The law that governs the mind, the law that says what you consistently affirm with belief, you begin to attract. Not magically, but mechanically, because your words adjust your energy. Your energy affects your actions change your results, and your results, over time, build your destiny. Speak this on repeat. I am not a product of my past. I am the product of my decisions. I am not waiting for permission. I am acting with authority. I do not follow my feelings. I lead with my faith. Every cell in your body begins to align with this rhythm. Your biology follows your belief. Your breathing deepens. Your shoulders rise. You walk with the subtle strength of someone who has seen the battlefield of the mind and decided to win. By the third day, you have tasted the difference. You see the distance between who you were and who you are becoming. You realize this is not just a 3-day experiment. It is a 3-day ignition. It is the spark that starts the fire of self-command. And you don't want to go back. You find yourself catching negative thoughts mid-sentence and saying, "That's not me anymore." You hear fear knocking, and you say, "I'm not answering." You face the challenges of the day with new vocabulary. This isn't the end. This is my training ground. I rise here. You stop apologizing for wanting more. You stop playing small to make others feel comfortable. You stop looking back because your eyes are locked on the future. And most importantly, you keep speaking to yourself as the leader you were born to be. And when the moments of doubt creep back, as they will, you now know exactly what to do. You speak. You don't wait to feel ready. You don't wait to feel worthy. You don't wait to feel strong. You open your mouth and speak strength into your soul. Say it. I am not fragile. I am forged. I am not uncertain. I am decisive. I am not here to survive. I am here to build. I do not crumble under pressure. I am carved by it. You say it until the old self can no longer survive in the atmosphere of your new beliefs. You say it until the dream becomes real because the voice within you refused to settle. The inner world creates the outer world, and if you talk to yourself like this for 3 days, you'll realize your greatest ally, your most powerful weapon, your secret advantage has been your own voice all along. On the 4th day, a profound shift begins to take place. You begin to recognize the strength that was always inside you, the same strength that many spend a lifetime searching for in external sources. You're realizing it's always been within. It was never about waiting for the right moment or the right circumstances. It was always about awakening that power within yourself. And the moment you began to speak to yourself with intention, the transformation started. Now more than ever, you begin to realize that your thoughts are no longer idle chatter. They are tools. Tools to construct your future, tools to break down old barriers, tools to build the life you desire. The way you speak to yourself is directly connected to how you move in the world. Your internal dialogue isn't just a reflection of your current state, it is the catalyst for everything you will ever achieve. So, you continue to speak with authority because you understand now that your words shape your reality. I am not weak. I am not uncertain. I am resilient. I have the power to overcome anything I encounter. These words are not mere affirmations, they are commands. They are declarations of what is and what will be. When you speak them, you are not asking for permission, you are creating your future. But, you might ask, what if I don't feel it? What if my circumstances say otherwise? What if I don't see the results yet? This is the critical juncture where most people falter. They wait for their circumstances to change before they change the way they talk to themselves. But this is backward. The truth is, your circumstances are reflections of the conversations you've been having with yourself for years. To change the world around you, you must first change the conversation within you. You see, when you begin talking to yourself like someone destined for success, the world begins to rearrange itself to match your beliefs. It might not happen overnight, but it begins to happen in ways that are almost too small to notice at first. You'll start seeing small opportunities pop up. You'll start meeting people who align with your vision. You'll begin to notice that challenges no longer feel like roadblocks. They are stepping stones. And this is the power of consistent, purposeful self-talk. It shifts everything. The power of your words is even more profound when you speak them with belief, especially when the world around you seems uncertain. It is easy to believe in yourself when everything is going well, but true mastery comes when you speak to yourself with conviction, even when you feel like you're standing alone in the dark. I am not a victim of my circumstances. I am not a product of my environment. I am the creator of my world. I am the architect of my destiny. This isn't mere wishful thinking. This is your internal reality shaping the external world. What you say becomes what you believe. What you believe becomes what you do. And what you do determines what you have. So, as you move into the next phase of your journey, keep speaking with certainty. I am the one who decides how my day goes. I am the one who determines my success. I am the one who controls my thoughts, my feelings, my actions. There is immense power in knowing this truth. When you speak this way, you are no longer waiting for the world to change. You are changing the world with your words. And this, my friend, is where true transformation happens. By the fifth day, you begin to realize something even deeper. The external world was never your problem. The problem was your perception of it. Your relationship with the world was always based on how you viewed yourself within it. When you believed you were powerless, you saw the world as an obstacle. But now that you know the truth, now that you've begun talking to yourself like someone who is powerful, the world starts to look different. Opportunities are not scarce, they are abundant. Challenges are not burdens, they are lessons. Success is not a distant dream, it is a certainty. And it all begins with the words you speak. You stop asking for permission because you realize you've already been given the permission you need to succeed. You stop waiting for approval because you realize you've already been approved by the most important authority, the authority of your own mind. You stop doubting because you know, without a shadow of a doubt, that you are capable of accomplishing what you set out to do. And then something miraculous happens. As your internal dialogue shifts, so too does your external world. It's not that the challenges go away. It's not that everything suddenly becomes easier. No, the true miracle is that you no longer view those challenges as threats. You now see them as opportunities. Opportunities to rise, to grow, to expand. The very obstacles that once seemed insurmountable become the fuel that propels you forward. By the sixth day, the power of your self-talk becomes so ingrained in you that it's no longer something you need to think about. It's automatic. You no longer need to remind yourself to speak with authority, you just do. The words flow naturally, without hesitation, without doubt. You speak to yourself with the confidence of someone who knows that they are destined for greatness. You speak to yourself with the clarity of someone who understands that their future is in their hands. I am worthy of success. I am worthy of abundance. I am worthy of all the good things life has to offer. These words no longer feel like a stretch. They feel like truth. And when you speak truth, you don't have to wait for it to manifest. It begins to manifest instantly, because truth is not bound by time. Truth is timeless. By the seventh day, you are no longer just talking to yourself. You are talking to the universe, to your destiny, to the very fabric of reality itself. You understand now that your words are the seeds, and your life is the garden. What you plant in the soil of your mind today, you will reap tomorrow. You say, I am becoming the best version of myself. I am unstoppable. I am a force of nature, and nothing can stand in my way. And so it is. What you speak, you create. What you believe, you become. And as you continue to talk to yourself with this unwavering belief, the world begins to bend to your will. The journey you've embarked on in just 7 days is only the beginning. Keep going. Keep speaking. Keep believing. And watch as the world transforms to reflect the power of your words. As you continue on this journey, you'll begin to understand something deeply profound. You'll realize that this process of speaking to yourself with purpose isn't a temporary fix. It's the foundation of a life built on true mental mastery. It's not about saying the right words once and expecting immediate results. This is about building a mindset that never wavers, a belief system that holds firm no matter the circumstance. This mindset, this belief becomes the compass by which you navigate your life. It becomes the unwavering force that propels you forward. And as you continue to speak to yourself with conviction, with power, and with a vision for your future, you begin to see the evidence of that power in every aspect of your life. On day 8, you realize something even more profound. It's not just that you're speaking to yourself differently, it's that you're beginning to understand that the world responds to you in kind. The universe has a way of aligning with the energy you put out into the world. The thoughts you think, the words you speak, the actions you take, they send vibrations into the universe that attract more of the same. What you focus on expands. If you focus on fear, you'll get more fear. If you focus on lack, you'll attract more lack. But when you focus on abundance, on success, on your power, when you begin to speak life and victory into your heart, you will find that these things will begin to flow into your life in unexpected and extraordinary ways. Let me be clear, this is not about wishing for things to fall into your lap. This is about creating the conditions for success to thrive. The words you speak daily plant the seeds for what will eventually manifest in your life. You may not see the full harvest today, but every word you speak is another step toward the fulfillment of your destiny, and that harvest is coming. The fruits of your labor, the fruits of your thoughts, will soon be seen in the material world. By day 9, you begin to recognize a pattern. It's as if the universe is listening. It's as if everything around you is responding to your inner belief and strength. But here's the critical truth. The universe is always listening. The universe responds to your thoughts, words, and actions, not because it's magically granting you what you ask for, but because it's reflecting back to you what you truly believe you deserve. What you speak consistently, you believe deeply. And what you believe deeply becomes your reality. This is the power of belief, the power of words, and the power of self-mastery. It's no longer just about positive affirmations or motivational speeches. It's about becoming a person who speaks with such authority and conviction that even your doubts cannot survive in the presence of your belief. This is the true power of self-talk. When you speak with conviction, when you speak with authority, when you speak with clarity and focus, the entire universe begins to shift. And the shift happens not because the world is changing, but because you are changing. You are transforming from the inside out. You are aligning your mind, body, and spirit with the future you know you are destined for. You see, everything in your life up to this point has been a result of the inner dialogue you've been having. Every decision, every action, every outcome has been shaped by the thoughts and beliefs you have held about yourself and your world. But now, with each new day, each new affirmation, each new word of power that you speak to yourself, you are creating a new reality. You are reprogramming your mind to align with your highest purpose, your deepest desires, and your greatest potential. Day after day, as you continue this process, the old negative patterns will begin to fade away. The limiting beliefs that once held you back will lose their grip on your life. They will no longer define you. You will no longer be a prisoner to the thoughts of doubt, fear, and inadequacy. Instead, you will become a person who believes in their own power. You will become a person who sees every obstacle as an opportunity. You will become a person who speaks with such certainty that the world itself will begin to move in the direction of your dreams. You will no longer wait for permission. You will no longer wait for the right moment. You will no longer wait for things to be perfect. You will take action now, because you know that action is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. And as you take that action, your words, your affirmations, your declarations will be the fuel that powers every step. And here's the most important part. As you begin to speak to yourself like this, as you begin to program your mind for success, you will begin to see results. You will begin to see your life shift in ways that you may have thought were impossible. The opportunities will begin to show up. The challenges will become easier to overcome. The people you meet will support your vision, and you will start to see yourself moving toward the life you've always dreamed of. By the 10th day, you'll realize that you've begun to change not just the way you talk to yourself, but the way you talk to the world. You've gained confidence not just in your words, but in your actions. Your belief in yourself is no longer a temporary fix. It's a permanent transformation. And it all started with the simple act of speaking to yourself with intention, with purpose, and with power. So as you continue down this path, remember, This is not a journey with an endpoint. This is a lifelong process of growth, of evolution, of stepping into the person you were always meant to be. And the more you speak to yourself with confidence, with certainty, and with faith in your abilities, the more you will see that your future is not something that happens to you, it's something that you create. Keep speaking, keep believing, keep acting, and watch as the world begins to mirror the greatness that you have declared over your life. Your words are powerful, your mind is powerful, and your future is waiting for you to step into it with the belief that you can and will create the life you desire. By day 5, the process of speaking to yourself like this has begun to yield tangible shifts. At first, it might have felt like a practice, a mental exercise that you had to remind yourself to engage in each day. But as the days pass, the power of your words starts to sink in. It becomes more natural, more instinctive. You no longer have to think about what to say to yourself. Your affirmations are now embedded in the way you think, the way you move, and the way you approach the world. You begin to notice something truly remarkable. When you speak to yourself with authority and conviction, the world around you responds in kind. Opportunities seem to appear from nowhere. Challenges that once felt like insurmountable obstacles now feel like mere stepping stones to your greater success. It's not that the circumstances have changed. It's that your perception of them has shifted. When you speak to yourself with belief, you begin to view the world through a lens of possibility rather than limitation. Where others might see difficulty, you see opportunity. Where others might feel overwhelmed by a challenge, you feel energized and equipped to tackle it head-on. Your words are no longer mere repetitions. They are tools of empowerment, tools that shape your reality with every utterance. The key here is understanding the deep connection between thought, word, and action. Every time you speak to yourself in a way that affirms your worth, your ability, and your potential, you are not just making empty promises to yourself. You are planting seeds. These seeds, when watered with consistent belief and reinforced by purposeful action, will grow into the reality of your future. But let's take a moment to address the inevitable challenges that will arise during this transformative journey. It's easy to speak to yourself with confidence when everything is going well, when success seems just around the corner. But what happens when the world seems to push back? What happens when doubts arise, when setbacks occur, when obstacles seem insurmountable? This is where the true power of self-talk comes in. When the road gets tough, when the winds of doubt howl, this is when your words must be your anchor. It's in these moments that you must double down on your belief in yourself. You must speak with even greater authority, even greater conviction. You must remind yourself, I am not defined by my circumstances. I am not defined by my failures. I am not defined by the opinions of others. I am defined by my belief in my own ability to rise above. It's in these moments that the practice of speaking to yourself with power becomes the most essential. Your words will not only help you to endure difficult times, they will help you to transcend them. They will give you the strength to rise when you feel like staying down, to press forward when you feel like giving up. And most importantly, they will help you to see challenges for what they truly are, opportunities for growth. You may not always feel motivated. You may not always feel strong. You may not always feel confident. But the key here is that motivation is fleeting and confidence is built through consistent action. And your words, spoken with belief, will propel you into that action even when your emotions tell you to retreat. This is the secret to moving forward, even when everything inside you is screaming to stop. At the same time, remember that your words must align with your actions. The belief you express through your self-talk must be followed by action. You can speak all day about your potential, but if you don't take deliberate, consistent steps toward your goals, your words will remain hollow. Belief without action is like a fire without fuel. But when your belief is followed by purposeful action, your words become unstoppable. They become the force that moves you forward and the momentum that carries you toward success. Now, let's talk about the importance of staying consistent. Speaking to yourself with power, with belief, with authority, isn't a one-time exercise. It's not something you do for a week and then forget about. This is a daily practice, a commitment, a promise you make to yourself to consistently speak with intention, to consistently reinforce your worth, your abilities, and your potential. And the more you do it, the more automatic it becomes. At first, you may have to remind yourself every day to speak with conviction, but over time, it becomes second nature. It becomes the default mode in which you operate. When you wake up in the morning, the first thought in your mind will be a declaration of your power. Today is mine. I will achieve everything I set out to do. When challenges arise throughout the day, your first reaction will be to speak to yourself with confidence. I am capable of handling this. This obstacle will only make me stronger. By day 6, you'll realize that the shift in your mindset has begun to affect more than just your thoughts. It's affecting your actions, your decisions, your behavior. You're no longer waiting for the perfect moment to act. You're no longer hesitating, second-guessing yourself. You're taking action in the face of uncertainty, trusting that your belief in yourself is enough to carry you through. And as you act, the world around you responds. You begin to see the results of your actions. Opportunities that once seemed out of reach now feel within your grasp. Doors that once seemed closed begin to open. And the more you take action, the more your belief is reinforced. This is how you build momentum, through consistent belief, consistent action, and consistent self-talk. At this stage, it's important to remember that your self-talk is not about seeking approval or validation from others. This journey is about seeking approval from the only person whose opinion truly matters, yourself. When you speak to yourself with power, with conviction, you are declaring that you are worthy of your own respect, your own admiration, and your own trust. You are declaring that you are enough just as you are, and that you are capable of achieving everything you desire. By day 7, you will start to see profound changes, not just in your external reality, but in the way you view yourself. You will no longer see yourself as a passive observer of life. You will see yourself as an active participant, a creator, a person who is capable of shaping their own destiny. And this shift in perception will begin to reflect in every area of your life. Your relationships will improve, your career will flourish, your health will thrive. And it all began with a simple yet incredibly powerful act of speaking to yourself like someone who is worthy of success, worthy of greatness, and worthy of everything life has to offer. As you reach the final stages of this transformation, something powerful happens. You realize that this practice of speaking to yourself with belief, with power, and with intention has not only shifted your internal world, it has begun to reshape your external reality. You see the results in your life. You see how your actions have started to align with your aspirations. You feel more in control of your life, more confident in your ability to navigate any challenge, and more certain of your place in the world. But here's the most important truth of all. This is just the beginning. The practice of speaking to yourself like this for 3 days is not a one-time event. It is the start of a new way of living, a new way of thinking, and a new way of being. You are no longer someone who merely hopes for success, who waits for good things to happen, or who reacts to circumstances. You are someone who creates their own reality, someone who lives intentionally and purposefully every single day. As you move forward, the power of your words will continue to shape your destiny. The more you speak to yourself with confidence and belief, the more you will embody those words in your actions. You will no longer second-guess yourself, question your worth, or doubt your potential. Instead, you will step into every challenge with the unwavering belief that you are more than capable of overcoming it. You will face every obstacle with the certainty that you have the strength and resilience to move through it and come out stronger on the other side. But remember, this is not a journey that ends after 3 days. This is a lifelong commitment to speaking with power, to thinking with purpose, and to living with intention. As you continue to speak to yourself with the language of success, you will see your results multiply. Opportunities will come your way more easily. You will attract the people, the circumstances, and the resources necessary to achieve your goals. But more importantly, you will develop an unshakable belief in yourself, in your ability to manifest your dreams, and in your power to shape the world around you. the world responds to you in the way you see yourself. If you see yourself as capable, worthy, and deserving of greatness, the world will reflect that back to you. If you see yourself as powerless, insignificant, or limited, the world will mirror that as well. But now, with this new understanding of the power of your words, you will choose to see yourself as the creator of your own reality, as someone whose potential is limitless and whose destiny is in their hands. In the coming weeks, months, and years, you will look back on this moment, the moment when you decided to speak to yourself with belief, and you will realize how far you've come. The growth, the confidence, the success that you will achieve will be a testament to the power of your self-talk. Your journey has just begun, and the best is yet to come. And so, my friend, as you continue this journey of self-mastery, remember that your words are your greatest asset. Speak with power, speak with conviction, speak with belief. And as you do, you will shape the life you desire, the life you deserve. You will transform from someone who reacts to life's circumstances into someone who creates their own circumstances. You will become a force of nature, unstoppable and unwavering in your pursuit of your dreams. The power to change your life is within you. It's in the words you speak to yourself, the thoughts you think, and the actions you take. You are the architect of your own destiny. So, from this moment forward, commit to speaking to yourself as the powerful, capable, and deserving individual that you are, and watch as your world transforms before your very eyes. As we come to the close of this journey, let us remember the power that resides in our words. The language we use, both in our minds and in our daily self-talk, is the foundation upon which we build our future. The affirmations, the beliefs, and the unwavering conviction we speak into our own lives shape who we become. We started this journey by committing to speak with power for just 3 days. But let it not end there. That initial spark of belief, that small commitment, has the potential to ignite a lifetime of transformation. This is not just a moment of change. It is a new way of living, a new way of thinking, and a new way of being. What you speak to yourself today will echo in the decisions you make tomorrow. The seeds of belief you plant now will grow into opportunities, success, and personal greatness. You are not the product of your circumstances. You are the product of your thoughts, your words, and your actions. You are the architect of your own reality, and the power to build the life you desire lies within you. Remember, the world will respond to you as you respond to yourself. When you speak with belief, conviction, and authority, you not only transform your mindset, but you transform the way the world perceives you. You become a person of power, a person of action, and a person capable of achieving all that you set out to do. So as you leave here today, take with you this truth. You have the power to create the life you want. Speak to yourself as the person you aspire to be. Speak to yourself with the belief that you are worthy, capable, and destined for greatness. And watch as your world changes, one word at a time. The road to success, to fulfillment, and to your ultimate potential begins right here, right now, with the words you speak to yourself. Keep speaking with power, keep speaking with belief, and know that your future is being shaped by the very words you choose to say.